Hi, welcome back to Tell RV, where we help busy professional simplify their lives. Today we have a special guest coming from us from Florida. I'm gonna click on her now. Tiffanie,
Hi.
hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah,
How's
thank you
everything
for
going?
having me.
Yeah, this is great. This is my first live, so bear with me.
You're doing great.
Thank you. So let's jump into a couple of questions I wanted to ask you. So the first question is, you built your network of 650K before diving into full-time travel. What was the mind shift that made you prioritize wealth first building?
So I grew up in a Caribbean household. My parents are Jamaican. And
Hmm.
so when I was growing up, they talked about saving, and there's my mom now. Hi, mom. So
Oh,
they talked about saving and like when I got my first job at 14, it
hmm.
was a cashier at Key Food, which is a grocery store chain in New York. And I got a job, and my dad took me to the bank, and he opened up a checking account, and he was like, "You have a job, and now you have to save." And so, like, those things were forever linked in my mind from youth, that when you start working, you start saving. And so while I was growing up, they talked about CDs, and they were, because they mature. So they would talk about, oh, my CD is maturing, so I got to go meet with the advisor. They would talk about meeting with their advisor periodically, like once or twice a year. They would talk about
Hmm.
this, and I would hear them. And so growing up, I knew that it was important to save. I knew that it was important to invest. And I knew that it was important to be disciplined financially. And then once I got to a certain net worth, I got to a goal, then I allowed myself the freedom to travel more, and I didn't have to be so aggressive with my savings.
That is great. That's not the conversation I got. I was just like, you better save something because when it runs out, you can't come back over here and asking me for anything. So that is fantastic.
That helps too.
Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, I got it. A common misconception is that travel is expensive, but you've shown that it's achievable with the right strategy. Which financial habits has most significantly helped you fund your travels?
You have some people who joined here. I
We
don't
did.
know if you want to say hey.
Let's see. Hi, this is Kim's mom. Hello. Globe-trotting. Hi, Denise from New York. Oh, she's like, hi, pumpkin. And Bottomess. Hi, Bottomess.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, you have a lot of people joining. A
Yeah.
woman with a van says hi.
Hi. Oh, that's Bottomess. Hi. Thank you for joining us. A common misconception is that travel is expensive, but you've shown that it's achievable with the right strategy. What financial habits have most significantly helped you fund your travels?
So I think the habit that has helped me the most is that I have an account just for travel. So when I get paid, I allocate my funds to different things. So I have an account, a checking account for my expenses. I have another one for my wants. I have another one for travel. I have another one for various types of savings. If I'm saving up for example, for a down payment, or if I'm saving up for gifts like holidays, I put money aside periodically for those things. So for travel, periodically, meaning every time I get paid, automatically it's systemized, it's automated. So it goes into this this travel account, and then I'm able to plan for future travel in that way because I'm saving periodically. Every time I get paid, I'm saving. And also I can prioritize different trips. I can say, okay, this trip is going to cost this much, I have this much in savings, and then I can plan better. So I think that has been really effective for planning.
That's great. Has it ever been a time where like you've looked at your savings and you're like, I really want to go to a certain destination, and you're like, now I need to allocate even more money for this trip, or no?
um So if that happens, yeah, I can adjust my. I've changed how much I allocate to the travel account. I've made changes like that, but it's not dependent on a location. It might have been dependent on something else in my life. So something else happened, and I might adjust my travel budget. Or, like, for example, the economy. Things are going crazy right now with the economy, and so people are getting laid off, people are getting fired. So maybe I would adjust how much put in travel and put more into emergency funds. So I do make adjustments that way, but it hasn't necessarily been dependent on a location.
Great. We've got some more people joining. Um, oh, thank you, Denise. Thank you, Bonimus. Um, how do you balance enjoying life now, like traveling, while still securing your family's financial future?
So this is the great thing about compound interest. Even if I did nothing, you know, for the rest of my life in
Mhm,
regards to savings,
mhm.
my family's financial future would still be growing because it's invested in the market, it's invested in real estate, it's invested. So how do I balance that? I know that the market is going to return, the average 7 to 10% on average historically. So I know it's going to grow regardless of what I do. But even on top of those growths, I still contribute to my to my investments. So that's one of the buckets. I give to travel, I give to my investments, I give to my expenses. So I feel really secure knowing that those things are going to grow, both because of the market and because of how much I'm contributing. And I'm invested in my employer retirement benefits as well. So they contribute as well.
Oh, that's great. That is really, really great. Um, what's your best advice for someone who wants to travel more but feels stuck financially or logistically?
Yeah, Lindsay joined. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. Hi. Welcome.
Somebody who feels stuck, I would say, so if they feel stuck with financially with travel, there's ways to make it less expensive. For example, they can travel domestically. You can do a road trip. If you're here in the US, there are so many cities within the US that are beautiful, and people come here from Australia or Europe to see our cities. If you want to go visit a big city, there is New York, there's Miami, there's DC even. And then there's the mountains, there's Denver. So the point is, if you wanted to do a less expensive trip for financial restrictions, you
Mhm.
can do a road trip. You can drive somewhere and stay a day or two, or even a day trip. That would be even cheaper. You can say you're a few hours from another city. You can go for the day and enjoy it, see how it is. Even if you're really restricted, you can pack food and then just go see the city.
That's great. Great. As a family that travels often, how do you keep your home base organized when you're constantly on the go?
Mhm. Like I said, I grew up Caribbean, so I am Caribbean, and I grew up in a Jamaican household, and so cleaning is just part of our everyday.
Mhm.
So the house is just always pretty much organized.
Okay.
Both, I got it on both sides. My mom and my dad were very big on just being clean in the home.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I stay organized in between travel at home? It's just always, I'm always doing something. Like that was, I think, something I got from my dad. He was like, if you just clean one thing, you just have to clean one thing a day, and then it's always clean. And then he told me some stories. When I was growing up, me did live with this woman, and she was always cleaning. Every day she had clean and I clean. I'm like, okay, okay, Dad. So I'm just used to, like, I'll do one load a day of laundry or something like that.
Yeah, because most people when they come back, especially when they come back from travel, they stuff stay in the suitcase. And or when they're looking for something, they open the suitcase and they pull stuff out and it's a mess. And it's like, you didn't take care of this, you didn't take care of that, and you can't find anything. So some people are a little bit different in finding something. So that's why I asked. So that's good.
I'm definitely guilty of that. Like unpacking things will stay in a suitcase for a good while. And like you say, yeah, we over the weekend we were looking for a bathing suit. It was in the suitcase from the last trip to Playa del Carmen, but it's contained. So it's a contained in the suitcase still. I still have to unpack. Um, so yeah, that I'm guilty of that as well.
um, how do you manage digital organization, photos, itinerary, books while traveling?
Itineraries are in my email, and it syncs with my Google Calendar. Some, like, if I make a reservation for a hotel and then the hotel sends me an email confirmation,
Hmm.
Google Calendar will take that information and put it in my calendar automatically. So I'll look in my calendar and I'll see, oh, okay, I'm staying here this time, this time. But for the most part, I just, if I need to reference something, look something up, need an address, I just search through Google, because Google is Gmail. Gmail is pretty searchable, so I can find whatever I need to by looking up, the name of the airline or hotel or organized event, whatever it is. I can find it in my Gmail. And then there was something else you said, itineraries, and you said, oh, photos. I upload those to Google Drive. So from my phone, I upload my videos and I upload my photos to Google Drive. This way, so if something happens to my phone, I have my photos, and also it uploads to the cloud as well, my iPhone. So I have it in two locations. I have it on the iPhone cloud
Oh,
storage, and then I also have it in Gmail, or not Gmail, on Google Drive,
mhm.
because I do most of my life with Google. So like my email is through Google, my calendar, I use Google Calendar. So I put it on Google Drive so that I can then edit it if I want to make a video or something like that.
And you usually do that like after you do the video. So like if you're in like a hotel and you're shooting, once that's done, then you do it right away, or do you wait till you come back home to do that?
I upload all the videos once I'm back home.
Once you're back home. Okay. Let's go to the comments. Let's see. Uh, Women with the Van said, yes, Google is my one-stop shop too. uh, Lindsay has a question. How do you keep organized during the trips? Uh, sorry, I always paranoid. I leave something behind, so I like out the backpack or suitcase. It is silly to not unpack. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't unpack either, Lindsay. Like I always watch movies, and these people go to like a hotel and they like take it out of the suitcase and they hang it up, or they take it out. Sometimes there's drawers and they put it in the drawer. I'm like, ma'am, you did not move in. We're just here for a little bit of time. I don't do all of that. So yeah, I live out of the suitcase as well when I'm traveling, unless it's something that I want to hang up because we're going to like a special dinner or something. Like my mom, if we go away for her birthday and then one evening there's a dinner, I will hang just that dress so that it's not crushed before dinner. But for the most part, everything else, I leave it in the suitcase. And I'm also like paranoid as well. So whenever I leave the hotel room, I put everything back. There's not much that's out because I leave it in the suitcase. But if I have like my toiletries out, I keep it in a toiletry bag. And then I put the bag back in the suitcase. I zip up my suitcase. And then I leave. I don't even like things out when I'm not in the room. My laptop and all those things, I put them back, I zip it up, and I go. My mom goes a step further. She locks her bags. I don't do that, but she locks her bags and then leaves with the key.
Yeah, okay. um, you help families live richer lives. What does a rich life mean to you beyond money?
For me, a rich life involves having flexibility in your schedule. So, even being able to do things like this, being able to have an interview midday, to me is living a rich life. Being able to attend events at my daughter's school. She has events all throughout the day. She has an event at like 11 a.m. She'll have chapel at 9 a.m. She'll have, I can go to her school and read to her 9 a.m. Being able to have the flexibility in my schedule to attend events like that, to me, is having a rich life. Being able to travel pretty much whenever I want. Just my only restriction is my daughter's school schedule. So outside of that, and working with her school vacation times, being able to travel during those times and staying in pretty nice accommodations, and being able to experience the foods in those other countries, for me, that is a rich life, as well as her education. She goes to a great school.
Yes. And we're going to get her own YouTube channel because I've seen her on some videos and I was like, okay, girl, I see you.
She's quite the character.
Yes. Live autocorrect got me there. And she says, thank you. Let's see. What's your time management secret for juggling content creation, traveling, and family?
So family is when I'm traveling. So I combine those. Some of those things get combined. So when I'm traveling, I'm also spending time with my family and also creating content, because my channel is about travel, and so I'm able to combine those things purposely. Like I purposely chose to do travel so that I could do it because I like to travel, and then I could also create content around that and create additional stream of income. So I combine those things, and that's how I'm able to fit it all in.
Okay. How do you decide when to splurge versus saving when planning a trip?
So if I am traveling, I'm very loose with my finances. That is my time to splurge. As opposed to when I'm domestic, I am more strict. So I might not eat out as much when I'm not traveling. I'll cook more, or wholesale food shopping versus the grocery store. I'll be more disciplined when I'm not traveling, and then when I'm traveling, it's like, okay, whatever whatever we want, pretty much within reason. But everything is always, not always, but for the most part, the locations that I like to go to, they're cheaper than in the US. So splurging over there is not the same as splurging over here.
Okay, yeah. So there's some people that like depends on where they stay. If they're not staying in a hotel and they stay in an Airbnb, they'll go out, buy, and cook their own food while they're on vacation. I don't do that.
Yeah, it's not me either. I can't do that. I do that at home.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm on vacation for a reason.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on how long you're traveling. So if it's just a couple of days, then yeah, you're like, I'm just gonna eat out. But if people go for months, and in that case, you're like, I'm not gonna eat out every day for months. So
Right.
then it just depends.
Yeah. Do you use routines or ritual to stay grounded in a nomadic lifestyle?
So our routine really revolves around my daughter's school. So yeah, her whenever she's in school, we are here um, in the States,
Mhm.
and then outside of that, we're traveling. When we're traveling, do we have any routines? Well, there's still a certain time that she goes to bed because she's
Right.
just tired. So we still go to bed around the same time. We still, once we're adjusted to the time zone, then we get up and eat pretty much the same times that we would eat back home. So those are pretty constant.
All right. What motivates you to begin sharing your journey online, and how has it influenced your family's life?
Originally, I started sharing online because of one of my businesses. I have I'm a realtor as well.
Oh,
And so I started sharing um, closings and showings and open houses, things to do with real estate. And so I have a whole nother channel, and I kind of stopped posting to that channel because I realized that I wanted to talk about more than real estate in the particular city that I live, which is in Palm Beach County. So I wanted to talk more about travel, wanted to talk more about people moving abroad and their experiences around the world, and also about like investing and living richer. So I was a little bit confined by that first channel. So then I started my second channel, which is Tiffanie Travels. And then I started vlogging about traveling. And I wish I would have started earlier because my daughter has been traveling since she was 2 months.
oh
She
wow.
we-
You got this
her
down pat.
her first flight was when she was 2 months. It was during COVID because I had her during COVID. People thought I was crazy. They're like, "You're getting on a plane with a baby at 2 months during COVID," and I was like, "Nothing is going to stop me. Okay, nothing. Not a baby, not a pandemic. Nothing is stopping me." So I wish that I would have started earlier because I started this second channel around when she was two,
Mhm.
and so I have like the trips from two to now. But if I would have had her trips from 2 months to now, it would have been a drastic difference because she's gotten so much bigger. She's gotten bigger since two, but like drastically, like from 2 months to
Mhm.
four is a lot of changes that have happened in her like physical. So I
Uh-huh.
wish I would have started that earlier because it would have been neat to see her in a stroller and to see her like a lap infant on the plane, and then no, now she has her own seat kind of thing.
Yeah, that's great. Your mom said if traveling with her mom, the pocketbook stays at home.
My mom does treat me to meals, yes.
Bonema says, where are some great vacation spots that are warm for a weekend?
Hey, if you want to come to South Florida, we have warm weather for the weekend. If you're looking for a little bit more of a Caribbean vibe, Puerto Rico is great. You don't need a passport to go to Puerto Rico, and it's really easy to get around. You can use Uber, taxi. Bahamas is super close, depending on where you are in the U.S. It's also warm and Caribbean vibes. My mom will tell you Jamaica is great to go to for a weekend. I love Playa del Carmen. I was just there.
Yeah.
They have great food, great vibes, great views. Cartagena is good. Actually, if yeah, Cartagena, I'm going to put it up to the top, number one, just
Mhm.
because it's close to the US. It's, well, depending on where you live, it's 3 hours or so, 2 hours or so from Miami.
Mhm.
Ubers are super cheap. So Ubers are like a few dollars.
Mhm.
Taxis are super cheap. It's like $6 to go from the airport
Oh,
to the
wow.
hotel, depending on where you're staying. So
Mhm.
if you're looking to have a great vacation and spend not so much, check out Cartagena. Because Bahamas is expensive, Jamaica is expensive, Puerto Rico is expensive. Cartagena, the price is right.
Great. What is one unexpected lesson you have learned from being a family travel creator?
One unexpected lesson. I don't know. I would say that I guess what's important in life and just spending time with family, with friends, and not spending too much time at work, taking breaks, taking career breaks, taking time off, using the time that you have. A lot of people get time, PTO, and they don't even use it. Like we're
Yeah.
scared to even use the time that we have
Mhm.
in the States. And so just an emphasis on life. Hey Elle.
Hi, new destination added to my travel list. Hey, Elle. Thanks for joining with us. It's great. Um, let's see what else we have here. All right, what's the most unorganized travel moment you've had, and how did you handle it?
So there's been times where I forgot my converter. I brought it here so I could show you guys. This is a converter. You can put in different inputs like Australia is slanted there. You have your US and you have your European. And then on the other side, it will output different, if I can get that to work, but it'll output different ones. So you could put it into the whatever socket where you are. So you can output this one. You can output this one is the European one
Mhm.
here. So here, that's the Australian one. It's slanted to the side like that. So I've forgotten. I've gone places and forgotten converters. And especially if you're staying at an Airbnb, a lot of times when you're staying at a hotel, they have the US outlet because they're catering to US travelers. So
Right.
you go there and they have it. But you're staying at an Airbnb, it's not made for travelers, it's made for locals. So the outlets are local outlets. And so if I stay in an Airbnb, I have forgotten converters, and what I've done is just go out and buy the local one, especially for phones, because the like this port here for your phone, they
Mhm.
have this same port with you. If you go to a convenience store, they'll have it for European outlets. And what else? I have been in situations where I wasn't aware of different airline rules. Certain airlines you have to, I think it was Vueling Airlines, which is like a budget airlines in Spain, where
Okay.
if you don't check in at a certain time, they charge you. I know, and we don't have that at any of our airlines in the States. If you don't check in by a certain time, you just can't fly. They don't have where if you don't check in 24 hours in advance, they'll charge
Oh,
you a fee after that. So I didn't know about that.
how much is the fee?
I think it was like 30 euros.
Oh, wow. That's, that's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A while ago, I was in Italy. This was 2016. I was in Italy and I was on the bus. And it's not like this anymore, but then they had paper passes, like a day pass or
Mhm.
a weekly pass.
Mhm.
So I bought a pass. I think it was a day pass or a weekly, one of them, so that I could get on and off the bus and I wouldn't have to keep purchasing a single use ticket. And so in Italy at that time, they would have people come on the bus to make sure that you had these passes. And I had my pass and I showed it to the it wasn't like immigration or anything. It might have been like transportation authority. So I showed it to them, and there's a section on the pass where you're supposed to sign it, and mine was not signed because I'm from New York and we don't have to sign our day passes or our weekly, like your MTA card. Nobody signs that. You
Yeah.
just have it, and what if you have it, it's assumed that it's yours.
Yeah.
So in Italy, I was in Florence, I had the pass and they were like, this could be anybody's pass. How do we know it's your pass? I'm like, why would I have another person's pass?
Right.
So I had to get off the bus. They escorted me off the bus and
What?
directly to an ATM so I could pay the fee.
Oh my God.
But I still love Italy, though. It's still it's still my favorite country. And I think now, the last time I was there, they have tap and pay on the bus, so I just be
Oh,
tapping it up on the bus.
that's right. That kind of reminds me of like here in New York with the MTA buses that like you'll go, they have a vending machine, you'll go, but you just need a ticket. And then the I don't know what you call them, the authorities, the bus MTA authorities will come on the bus and they'll just randomly be like, do you have your ticket, to make sure that you pay? And if
Yeah.
not, they'll take you off the bus and write you a ticket, which
I've
is
never seen
way
it
much higher.
I've never seen it in New York, or I have seen it in Jersey on the PATH trains. They're checking for tickets. But yep, Lindsay, it was wild. I was very upset. I was very upset. They were like, let me see your passport. And I was like, I don't have a passport.
Lindsay said that is wild. Yeah.
They're like, if you don't show us your passport, it is going to be worse.
Oh.
I was like, here. Here you go.
Oh, she said, oh, I need one of those. I only have a UK one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a great converter. Where can I get one here in the US?
I got this from Radio Shack. I don't know if Radio Shack still exists.
Oh my gosh. No. I was born and raised in New York City, and that was such a throwback. Oh
yeah.
That is crazy. She's like, on the selected bus that happened to me. That did, Lindsay. I gave my student my bus pass because they didn't have one. Oh wow. Did you pay a fine, Lindsay? Like,
they got you too.
I got you.
Yeah, they're out here monitoring.
Your mom said, how much was the fee?
I don't remember because it was 2016. But I remember being upset. I want to say somewhere between 30 and 60 euros. I remember being upset.
Oh, wow.
And they took me to the ATM. I couldn't read Italian, so I had like the hardest time trying to figure out how to get money out.
Mm-hmm. That's insane. Lindsay said the cops got her. Oh, Jesus.
$100.
$100. So 30 euros is like, I can pay that all day. That's nothing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it happens. It happens while traveling, even to the best of us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you could live in one place for a year, where would it be and why?
If I could pick one place to live for a year, I believe right now, for what I'm thinking, I would pick Florence, Italy, because from there I could still travel. Like I could be living in Italy and travel to Spain or the south of France or Germany or Switzerland, so I can still travel. I'm really hesitant on moving to any Caribbean island because my daughter, she has albinism. And so the sun is really difficult for her, even when it's not summer. So we went to Playa del Carmen in March and the sun was so strong. And for her to be in that sun in like April, May, June, July, August, September, I don't think that's something that we could do. So I would definitely say it would have to be Europe if we were going to be there for a full year.
Okay. Do you have any plans to move abroad for
I
good?
would love to move abroad. I would. I would love to move. My daughter's father is not as eager as I am.
Oh, why?
That's what I keep asking.
Like, what's going
Okay,
on?
if we can get a collective group of us to say, "Sir,
Yeah,
why?"
I
And
know.
her grandmother as well, who's watching. Her grandmother refuses to leave the US as well. And so I don't want to take my daughter away from these people who are with her, so frequently, especially her father, her grandmother.
Yeah.
When they are a little bit more open, I've gotten to the place where we can do months abroad. So I'm working on it. So we're working on it. So now, before it was like you could go for two weeks. Now it's like, okay, you could go for 2 months. Soon, he doesn't know, and he doesn't watch these videos. So
Okay.
soon, it will be 6 months, and I think that's a good compromise. It'll be
What?
6 months abroad.
That would be great. 6 months abroad and then come back home for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's quite great. Yeah. I'm planning to get up out of here next year for good.
Where are you gonna go?
I am going to France
Ah,
and I'm going to make it happen. Love you, US. Thank you for all that you've done. But I need a do over and I need a different lifestyle, different environment. I need to meet new people. So, yeah.
well, come visit.
Yes, come visit. Definitely. Definitely. Let's go to the comments. Let's see. $1. When with the fans says, do you prefer Airbnb or hotels? That's from Denise.
So it depends on the location.
Mhm.
If the hotels are affordable, because I like to go for a longer period of time. And so if the hotel, like if I can get points, or if I can use award nights, if I can somehow get the stay, or if I can get a couple nights free, like combination, like use points and then pay, I prefer a hotel. But in certain cities, it's just not economical. I was looking into Rome or looking into different cities in Italy. The hotels are like $300-400 a night, and if I'm going for 2 weeks, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
So I gotta do Airbnbs. So some cities, it depends. Like if I go to Cartagena,
Mhm.
Cartagena has a very, very beautiful hotel, the Hyatt Regency, for one something a night. So in Cartagena, I stay in a hotel. In Rome, we are staying in an Airbnb.
Oh, gotcha. And talking about Rome, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Rome. Can you talk about your experience in Rome and how many times have you been?
I've been to Rome 3 times.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I've been to Rome 3 times. I love Italy just because of the food. So the food, the pasta, the wine, the prosecco, the gelato, the espressos, the cappuccinos, the tiramisu, every part of their food, like everything on the menu, like when you go into any kind of cafe, everything, their pastries, everything on the menu, I'm just like, yes, I want to try everything. So I love the food there, the wine there. Then the culture is so much more relaxed. Rome is a big city, but it doesn't feel as tense or as anxious or even as expensive. Lodging can be expensive, but for people who are living there, the actual Romans, it's not as expensive, like their apartments or the transportation or the food is less expensive. Their culture, they're just very laid back. If you go to a restaurant, they're not going to rush you out of the restaurant like here in the US, where they want to turn over the table as many times as possible so they can get the most revenue from that one particular table.
Mhm.
And over there, they're perfectly fine with having one party at a table for the rest of the day. It's not a profit first society. It's more of like life first. So they're talking with each other. They're having these long dinners, lunches. You're having cappuccino.
Mhm.
And it's not like super posh to have a cappuccino. Like your bus driver might pull over and have a cappuccino and then get back to work. It's not like only the super posh are having cappuccinos. It's everybody. And they're inexpensive. A cappuccino is like a euro 25.
Mhm.
As opposed to here, it could easily be $8.
Mhm. And it tastes better in Italy
Right. It
than here.
tastes better. They use better ingredients. It's
Yeah.
just awesome.
Yeah. What other places have you been to in Italy besides Rome?
I've been to Rome, Florence, Venice, and
Oh,
that's
how's Venice?
Venice is beautiful. It floods, so you might want to bring your rain boots. But the canals and riding in the gondolas is beautiful. The food is everywhere in Italy. The food is delicious, so you can't go wrong with the food. And it's more like a romantic vibe, Venice, because
Oh,
of all the canals.
the canals. So you did the whole boat thing and
The boating and just eating, relaxing, taking some wine. That's that's Italy.
okay. I have to visit. Um, your mom said no way, Jose, on leaving.
I know. I've had this conversation. I keep trying to tell her. I have a whole channel dedicated to to telling my mom, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, let's go back. Let's see. All right. What's next for you and your family? Now, are there any big goals or trips coming up?
Yeah, our next big trip is going to be this summer, and we're going to Paris.
Oh,
My daughter is 4,
oh,
and she has somehow become obsessed with Paris. I honestly
really?
don't know how it happened. I know I'm a travel blogger, and I know I talk a lot, but I don't know how she became obsessed with Paris. Her grandmother went to Paris last fall, so that might have been it. But she wants to see the Eiffel Tower. She wants to eat the croissants. She
Yeah.
wants to have macaroons. So we're going to Paris so
Yes.
she can live her best life.
Yes.
And then while we're there, we're going to a few other cities, Belgium. We're going to Munich, and we're going to go a few cities in Italy.
Okay. Great. Um, let's see in the comments. Mhm. Hmm. Where can people find you if they need help with financial planning? They want to get in contact with you about real estate or just travel in general.
Yeah, so you can go to my YouTube channel, which is at Tiffanie Travels. And then from there, I have all of my contact information. My email is there. You can leave a comment under any video. I respond pretty quickly. But yeah, if you don't find what you're looking for, or the advice you're looking for, I also have one-on-one coaching, which is the link. You can find it from my YouTube channel and my website. You can find that from the YouTube channel as well.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and
Yeah,
sharing your experience and how you live your lifestyle. And I hope to have you back again.
yeah. I'll ask you some questions if that's
Oh,
okay.
sure. Go ahead.
So, okay, why did you pick France to move next year?
Um, I had a conversation with my boyfriend, and first of all, he was born in Paris.
Uh,
And I said, you have to give me 3 places where you will want to live. Um, the first one was Georgia. And I was like, okay. The next one was Las Vegas. I was like, that I can't take the heat. It's very hot. And then he said France, but not necessarily Paris. He would go back to Nice. So at
Okay.
that time I never heard of Nice. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, this is where we going. So I started doing more research on Nice and Cannes and Mugens. And I was just like, okay. So I was like, well, if we're serious about this, let's start planning it out. And that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years. So
Oh, have you been to France?
we are going to France. I've never been to France, but I'm going to France this October. Uh,
Beautiful.
and hopefully I come back because he keeps on saying that I'm not going to come back.
It's possible.
It's
It's
possible.
possible.
It's
You gotta be
possible.
moving.
Yeah.
Impromptu. You're like, I was coming on vacation, but I moved.
But yeah, I was like, I had to stay because I had to check some stuff out. So, but yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah.
That would be fun. And that's a great base to travel all over Europe and Africa. You're really close to Northern Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I've been wanting to move ever since I went to Santorini, Greece.
Mhm.
And I was sitting there and I was just like, why am I in the States when I can just have a much softer and easier lifestyle and just do what I do. so so that also where it stems from. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm
I
like,
haven't been to Greece. Beverly says hi.
hi, Beverly. Hi.
Yeah, I haven't been to Greece. It's kind of on my list. Okay, so you tell me, what did you think? Because I've heard people say to get to those picturesque like Instagram posts, a lot of work, a lot of like climbing upstairs to get to these like views where you see the water and then the white buildings. So how did you find it?
Well, we went to 3 different islands. So we took a boat over to Santorini,
Uh-huh.
and our hotel was at the top of the hill,
Uh-huh.
where the all those white buildings are at. So, and then the hotel is kind of like a, you walk down and you just all you see is just like water, sun. There's some boats and like, some clouds, and it was just like it was breathtaking. Like I was like, I don't want to leave. Like, you know, it is beautiful. But some people, if you're staying below, like on the low level, like where the water is at, then yeah, you definitely have to trek up.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it would be. And it's a mountain, so it's very like, hills up and down, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Definitely you should put that on your list to
And
check
what
it.
about the food? You love Greek food?
The food was delicious. I mean, like every place we went to, because we asked the people at the hotel or the place we were staying for recommendations, and they gave us like the top notch restaurants, and it was just like it was amazing. So it was really, really good. The only thing I would say is that I particularly don't care for the wine, especially when you compare it to France.
Okay, okay.
It's a big difference. But other than that, everything was nice. The people was nice and friendly. Um, Everywhere we went, they mostly spoke English. They would teach us some words in their language. So it was fun. It was really, really fun.
Okay, I gotta put it on my list.
Yeah, yeah. It's really good. Yep. Would you have any more questions?
No, that's it.
Well, thank you everybody for joining. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. And if you're catching it on a replay, say hello. And go and subscribe to Tiffany's channel, Tiffanie Family Travels. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.